Well, it's the day before the Scotland game against Switzerland in Cologne. We're just about to get on the train, as you can maybe hear behind us, to get to Cologne ahead of what's a monumental game for Scotland. Bill, we're gearing up for it. Do we feel confident?
Oh, that's a word, confident. Expectant. Don't usually travel in expectation of Scotland, but I expect to see a massive reaction from Friday night, from everything we've heard from the players and from the manager. Confident, I cannot say with hand on heart that I am confident.
Just because of how bad the performance was against Germany, because this is a team that's given us so much in the last few years, but is that performance really, and that result really dented your belief in this team?
Not in the players individually. Keep saying we've got tremendous players who have performed brilliantly for us in the past, but Friday night, off the back of 2 or 3 poor performances and friendlies against better teams, has made me think that they are under huge scrutiny. Manager as well in Cologne on Wednesday night, and it really is time to deliver, and I hope with everything that I have that they come out the other side with the result we need to give us a cup final to look forward to on Sunday. Whether I can say I'm confident of that, I'm not sure, because I like you, I got myself up thinking we can get something out of Germany, and within 10 minutes it was obvious that we weren't going to get anything, we were going to get taken apart. So we will see again in those first 10 minutes, I think, are Scotland the team. John McGinn said last night, you will see a different Scotland, a Scotland with something to prove, more to themselves than to anyone else, and we'll see that in the first 10 minutes, I think. Yeah,
let's come back to that in a minute, but you said something there which may be interesting. Let's maybe touch on the manager.
Yes.
Steve Clarke has so many plaudits.
Quite rightly,
yeah, absolutely. Since becoming Scotland manager, this is the second major tournament. Yet, what happened in Munich the other night, it was reminiscent of what happened in the Czech Republic in the first game, when he's talking about not getting the players up. What do you think? Should he be under scrutiny here? Is Steve Clarke? Is this a huge game for Steve Clarke?
Massive. It's one of the pivotal games of his career. I mean, he's been through a lot in his career as a number 2 and as a manager and as a player. And I think he would be the first one to say that he is under the pump here. Now, here's the question. What do you think about this? Because he talked the other day about kicking some backsides and cuddling some people. Who does that for him? I always ask this of people who are motivators.
Yeah.
Who motivates the motivator?
Yeah.
When he needs a cuddle, who's the person who gives him that? When he needs reminded of his responsibilities, who gives him that? I'd be really interested to know what his motivation is, because you cannot possibly be the person who gets himself up every day in life and makes everybody else feel good.
Yeah, funny enough, he was actually asked about that when the Daily Guys spoke with him the other day when he was fronted up to the press. He was actually directly asked, who gave you a cuddle? Who gives you a cuddle?
Yeah.
And he said no one.
No one.
Now,
that's difficult.
He then joked, I think he was kind of joking, to be honest with you, but he then joked about his wife and family being in the dugout, or being behind the dugout, and hearing some language, some industrial language that they maybe hadn't heard from their father or their husband before. So he did make light of it, but you're right.
Yeah.
Is this where John Carver has taken a help him and the coaching staff, James Morrison? Because I suppose it is a group.
I wonder whether it's Graham Jones.
Yeah.
Graham Jones is the kind of technical guy, has been around big situations like these. He's a really smart man, and I wonder whether he's the guy that might just, when they're out for a walk, just say, right, Steve, how are you feeling, pal?
Yeah.
What's happening with you?
Yeah.
Because you cannot possibly be switched on. Not even a Sir Alex or a Pep can be switched on all the time and confident all the time.
Yeah. That said, he's in a big job. He gets good money. He's been in the job a while now. He knows the responsibilities of it. So as much as you want him to be feeling good about this, he has to turn up. He has to turn up as much as the players do. He has to get it right. He has to pick the right team. He has to send them out the right message. There can be no kind of black. It has to be certain. There can be no grey areas. That's what I was going to say about how this team's meant to play. The players have to go out with a plan. They need to know exactly what they're going to be doing in this game, because if it doesn't happen, tournament over.
Pretty much.
We're looking at a dead rubber for the Hungary game, which would be disastrous.
It would be. There are no grey areas here. There are absolutely no grey areas, and there's no doubt. You touched on it there. We've touched on it before. For all, Steve has been magnificent for us in 2 massive opening games in tournaments. There's been doubt in his mind, I think, over his team selection. He's not got it right, I think. I don't think he's got it right. Now, I think against the Czech Republic, there was a direct problem, a direct cause and effect of leaving out McGregor and Gilmour from the team, and we got swamped in the middle of the park. I don't think the Billy Gilmour thing became the big issue.
No, it didn't.
In Munich, that some people thought it was. It was much bigger than that. But at the same time, that's two massive games where he's maybe. That's where I wonder who's in his ear saying, "Do you think so, Gaffer?" James Morrison said the other day that it's the job of the coach to question the manager. But how far can a coach go and question a manager who has the sort of charisma and the front of Steve Clarke?
Yeah.
You know, how far would you go if you were one of Pep's assistants or Sir Alex's assistants? How far would you go in saying, because he's the guy that'll eventually say no or yes.
Yeah. Tell me this, if Scotland lose on Wednesday night, tomorrow night, there will be people who think Steve Clarke's time as Scotland manager could be over.
Yeah.
You don't go. I don't go along with that personally. I think he's got so much credit in the bank that I think he deserves certainly more time. And I still think he's the best man for the job right now. Yeah. But there will be people who disagree with that.
And I think an awful lot of them will be the same people who make noise about everything these days. There's a lot of, as your good pal Gordon Strachan says, a lot of keyboard warriors out there who want to make noise about everything and want to be heard. It doesn't necessarily mean they're right or that they're qualified to say so. I would ask the question, who out there right now would be a better manager for Scotland? Who's available and who would want the job than Steve Clarke?
Yeah, no, listen, there'll be plenty of people wanting the job.
That's a different thing, though.
There'll be guys in Scotland who've done good jobs in Scotland in the last few years who would be in the frame for the Scotland job, no doubt about it. But equally, as I say, I think Steve Clarke is the best man for the job. I think the players respect him. I think the players like him, but they have to play for him. They have to turn up a performance tomorrow night, and if they don't, then it will bring questions, and it will bring, because, well, I was going to say anger there, because if we spoke about this the other day about the Scotland fans being on side and being quite happy, go lucky after the game. The other night they accepted it, they were kind of no Scotland, no party type mood. I think that could change if we turn up another performance, turn out another performance like we did against Germany, against Switzerland. I think that could switch.
Absolutely.
And you could understand that these guys have spent a lot of money coming here.
And girls.
I mean guys and girls. I wasn't just meaning men, Bill.
No, I know.
They spent a lot of families have come out here. We've seen a lot of families. We've seen a lot of kind of, it's clearly mum, dad, and the kids. You know,
absolutely.
People have invested a lot in this, and I think it could switch if they don't turn in a performance. Listen, we can lose. Scotland fans will always accept a team.
There's a way of losing.
There's a way of losing,
and we didn't lose in the right way. Didn't lose the right way against the Czechs.
In
the last one, we didn't lose the right way on Friday night. I think you'll see obviously a much smaller. I mean, the numbers in Munich were. I was looking at an aerial picture one of our colleagues from Radio Clyde had taken. He'd gone up the top of one of the tower in the Marienplatz and looked down, and it was just remarkable. That will thin out because there'll be people, families who have come across to Munich for a big time. I know people who have done that, came across with a family, either went to the game or just stayed in the town. They'll be home now. We'll have 10, 15, whatever, however many thousands we have in Cologne, and they will be more. I'm not going to say them as aren't serious fans, but they'll be. If you've then stayed on for Cologne and you're staying on for Stuttgart, you really mean business. And the team has to mean business.
I think there'll be a lot of fans. I mean, 10 or 50, I think there'll be a lot more than that. There'll be fans who weren't in Munich.
Who know
fans who are going to now come out now, and their tournament starts now. They were maybe just thinking.
That's very true.
So
however many they are, the serious business. Because I don't like the term free hit, and I didn't see Friday night as a free hit. I thought it was a game where we had to do a lot better than we did. But there are people who say, well, we weren't, it wasn't going to define us anyway, so it starts now. And if that's the case, then it better start now.
Yeah. We actually mentioned that to Grant Hanley yesterday, and he actually shot that down. I know exactly what you're saying. I kind of put the question to him, but he was like, no, we can't kid ourselves on. Germany happened, it's there, we can't lie to ourselves. The performance was there, we can't just literally forget about it. We have to learn from it.
Absolutely.
And
that's why it's not a free hit.
Exactly. What we have to remember though is that we've still got 2 games, 2 winnable games, 4 points. It's very much there for us if we perform as well as we can perform, because we've seen the team turn out big performances when they have had to. They had a bit of luck along the way in the qualification campaign in moments. You think of how the Norway game ended, but that showed their resilience that night. They were behind, they didn't give up, and we need to see that against the Swiss. We have to see that character
from
in
the
team
first minute of the game,
from the moment the game starts.
And that's why I don't like the phrase free hit, because although the game itself, you might say, well, we've got very little chance of getting a result in the game, it's how you lose and it's what you learn from it, and that's where the free hit thing is a complete misnomer, because there's nothing free about this. We have to learn and we have to recover and we have to come back stronger. Now, I've heard this week KT, John McGinn, Grant Hanley, Angus Gunn, everybody say we'll come back from this a different team and a stronger team. We have to trust them in that.
Yeah. Well, we've got our cakes back today.
Oh, sorry, I was going to say, Robert, we went 10,000 feet above sea level yesterday to bring this to you.
In case you missed it.
We went to the top of the Zugspitze, at the highest point in Germany, and all we got from some people back home was
certain people.
Where's your cakes? Well, today we have beautiful triple chocolate tort, which we're now going to put back in a box and take on the train to Cologne.
Is it a Black Forest Gatto or is it a James Forest Gatto? What do you reckon?
Let's call it a James Forest Gatto for today. We'll rename it.
Hopefully the team will play much better than they did against the Germans. The game's tomorrow, as I say. You'll maybe hear behind us, the train's about to set off. We've got a 6-hour train journey from here in Garmisch through to Munich and then up to Cologne. We're looking forward to it. We're confident-ish. We hope the boys are too. And hopefully by this time tomorrow we're talking about real positivity, get into the game as we hope to try and keep these Euro dream alive.